Hey, this is Alexi Lawless. There is nobody in U.S. soccer that is more important than the Cooligans.
Ah, thank you so much for coming back!
Yes, let's go. We are here. We are
If
here.
you're watching on YouTube, you already see the guest. He's right here.
So it's not going to be much of a surprise. But no, we are here with Ethan White. Ethan White.
Come on, you remember him from NYCFC. You remember from Columbus.
No, you didn't play at Columbus. Philadelphia and DC.
DC, that's the team I was thinking in my head. Come on, great defender, had moments. Come on, he should have probably played up front. I think the boy can score. You know he moves himself up when he plays FIFA, right? The dude's doing so many amazing things. You've seen amazing photos. You did the photo for the Mitchell and Ness NYCFC sort of collab. So many cool things. Ladies and gentlemen, let's join, put your hands together for Ethan White.
Ethan White, thanks so much for being on the show, man.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me.
We met you. Was that the first time we met you at the Mitchell and Ness thing? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was Upper 90.
Okay,
it was
so
like official event.
Thank you. We did we filmed some videos, and I think we did a what did we do? We did like a game with.
Would you rather?
Would you rather?
Yeah,
I think one of the questions was like, would you rather win MLS Cup or win CONCACAF Champions League or something like that? And
what did I say?
I don't remember.
I asked you also, what do you think you're better at? Better photographer, better defender? And you were like, come on, man.
I was tight, yeah.
You gave me the come on, why would you do that to
I was
me?
like, it's not a win-win. It's a lose-lose for me in this situation.
There's no way to answer that, which is why we asked you. Our favorite thing is like, all right, so you're at the league now, so you can say whatever the fuck you want. But can I actually just hear you curse once?
Shit, that's good.
Shit's allowed on TV, but we'll let it go. So,
oh, it is? I thought
yeah.
on TV.
No, shit, you can say it on
cable.
Yeah, it is. Bang, bang, bang. All right. The gulliest ex-player right now. So, one of the things we love to do when it comes to players is that you guys are like, you're held to such a high degree of overview when it comes to what you guys say. So like we like to try to just shake you guys up a little bit to try to get the personalities out. Nothing crazy.
I mean, he does. I mean, you know.
Yeah, okay, what I like to do. I don't want to fuck up anybody's money, but I like to be like, let's ask you a question you normally don't get.
Yeah.
Because one of the reasons we like doing interviews is because everyone's asking the same 7 questions.
Right.
So I feel like players tend to have fun with us when they're on. Is that harder or easier for you guys? Do you like those moments, or you're like, God, I'm going to hear about this later?
I mean, I think it depends on the player.
Yeah.
There's players that are constantly media trained on, and then there's players that just don't care.
Yeah. We have a few
I feel like the MLS. I hope the MLS gets to a point where they can just act like the NFL and NBA players. They just say whatever they want because they're going to get paid whatever, and then they're going to play their game.
Is it maybe because one thing we find that's interesting whenever we interview any players is the players, soccer players are young. They're kids. I mean, it's children that we're putting on this professional standard of how an athlete should be. So they tend to be a little bit way more cautious. Maybe it's you can scare a kid to be more media trained early on, and then when we meet guys a little bit older, maybe 25 and above, then it's then their personalities start to come out.
Yeah, they're like, I'm already established, so
right.
Go ahead.
Well, you got to think there's no way to prepare for this really. As a soccer player, we don't go through training with the agent to have media stuff like that. Those guys at the combine are training for interviews.
Wow. Okay.
The soccer players are just drafted and they have one good game and there's microphones in your face.
Oh, that's interesting.
God, I'd be at the league immediately.
Because you know what I mean? Like if you're the #1 draft pick coming out of college and in the NFL, you're gonna have interviews. ESPN, you're going to basically a tour before you get drafted.
Yeah.
MLS, you just kind of get thrown into the fire. Oh, you just scored a goal in your debut. How's it going? And you're like, yo, this is my first ever interview.
Yeah. You're like, duh.
Right.
I'm the greatest ever.
Exactly.
That's how I would have gotten.
I think I'm the next Messi.
Yeah.
I mean,
can we get some better players around me?
Right.
You know, I mean, I get so many more interviews right now.
Right. So I think soccer players, in this country at least, they the microphone in your face celebrity kind of thing is kind of new to the beginning.
Okay, that's interesting.
Because Baker Mayfield was a celebrity before he even,
a year
or two before he
was a celebrity for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, exactly.
Getting tackled by a cop.
Right. Yeah. But you see what I'm saying though?
But it made the headlines.
Exactly.
Sometimes that's what soccer needs.
He was a known name and had his own little following or personality before he even stepped in front of microphones.
Okay, so that says a lot about and that's definitely the American soccer player, right?
Yeah.
In other countries, it is very different. What is that something that through your time in the league you've seen change, or have you seen younger players come into a more obviously from where MLS was when you got into now in just a couple years,
leaps and
a
bounds.
huge difference.
Yeah.
So what do you think is like the how are younger players introduced to the league now than they were when you were when you got in?
Oh, that's hard for me. I don't know if I can answer that. It's so different than when I came in the league.
Because I know we've spoken to people that were playing in like the late '90s, and it's like there were only 3 cups of water for the entire team. You know?
Right.
We were all changing in one guy's trunk because he could afford a car.
Yeah, when I was on DC, the stories I would hear like just because the guys were older.
Yeah,
and I would train with them when I was like 17 years old. The stories that I would hear were crazy. Yeah, nothing like we would ever deal with. And I'm like, you guys got it good. Yeah. And I'm like, now I'm looking at like the new training facilities. I went to like down in Atlanta, I saw their training facility. You guys got it good. Like, so it's just how quickly it's changed from then is
it's so
crazy.
funny because there's some guys that are like back in my day, whatever, and these guys are like 24.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
You should have seen how it was back then. Yeah. Right. Something wrong with your voice, though?
That's what
you
I
graduated
feel.
college
That's
4
what
years
I feel.
ago.
Exactly. That's what I feel too.
Now, all right, so you were in Atlanta for All-Star, right? Mm-hmm. Watching and going to see what's happening there, we talk about it a lot from a fan perspective, how 72,000 is insanity.
Right.
And how we all thought Atlanta was a terrible sports culture. I mean, they were. This has proven us all wrong because they changed that. But from a player perspective, some of the things that are the field, the stadium, the practice facilities, the training facilities, how much of an advancement is over what you had to deal with in the past? Is this a whole new world?
Depending on what age and what point. When I was younger, we didn't have we still trained on turf fields. We had one turf field at DC United that was garbage. You could have got hurt any minute. And then there was the first team field, and that was it.
Yeah.
But now the kids are when I was in Philadelphia Union, the kids were from all over, and they had a place to stay. They had went to a boarding school. They had this, they had that. So
YSA, right? Or
yeah. And then now NYCFC is planning to do stuff as well. You see Atlanta's, and it's this is crazy. They have 7 fields. They don't have to train on the same field one at all ever.
Yeah,
they can just keep rotating throughout the week and just.
That's wild.
Gym is right there. It's just so. I mean, it's just completely different than what I had experienced.
Well, you're out of the league now, right? Mm-hmm. Was it a choice you made? Did you have suitors?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like for me, I made the decision. I realized that I've been doing things to prove something to myself, and I feel like I got to the point where I didn't have to prove anything to myself anymore.
Okay.
And I realized that in this business, like most businesses, people don't really care about you. They just get what they can about you, out of you, and then move on.
You're a commodity to some
degree.
I
feel like I kind of took it into my control. I was like, I'm going to live my life. I got sick of missing out on opportunities, and I want to go to Coachella. I want to do all this stuff before I turn 37 and have kids, and I can't, retire. And I'm like, now what? So I'm now 27. I'm young enough to
You want to go to Coachella? You want to be a basic bitch? This is
No.
why you left the league?
No.
Yo, I want to wear us.
I'm just saying, there's opportunities I missed. There's things I want to do. I want to have a regular weekend one time. I want to go out with the boys. I want to be able to do photography stuff.
All I hear is Ethan wants to do drugs.
Yeah.
No, hell no.
Wants to burn that herb. Anyway, no.
No, I'm just saying. I want to be able to enjoy be able to travel.
Of course, yeah.
I want to be able to just do stuff that I wouldn't be able to do as a professional soccer player. And I feel like I got what I wanted. Soccer put a new period, a new perspective on life that I wouldn't have gotten.
Right.
If I didn't play at all.
Anything you regret? Sorry, I'm stepping over your question. But anything you regret about your time in the league? Anything you wish you would have done over, or an opportunity you wish you would have taken?
No.
Nothing.
I mean, obviously, I wish I had won more trophies. I wish all that, but I can't say I don't try to live with regrets. I don't regret. I'm actually really. Every day, there's something that tells me it's a good decision that you walked away.
All right, yeah, because it is
being with us.
Yeah,
it is.
No, but even this is a different experience that I wouldn't have gotten while playing.
Yeah, that's true.
Being able to talk to you guys with just openly being able to say whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah, because
and I'm young enough to realize, this is just
because last year I remember watching because NYCFC didn't do too many send their players out to do too much publicity or media stuff, but especially to inner city, Hot 90. You did a Hot 97 interview with Rodney Wallace, and that was when we saw it, we were like, "Yo, Ethan and Ronnie on it," and that it's just a cool thing,
right?
And at the very least, it was like, oh, cool, we got to see kind of a different side. But it wasn't like, yo, we out here, Hot 97, what's good?
Gang, what up, bro? Like you weren't, you know what I mean? You didn't, you go because you can't really do that.
Right, exactly. Like there was a lot more I would have said in that interview.
I'm sure.
Yo, bro, you gotta shut up. You know, crazy shit you be saying.
Yeah, I know.
I did.
Bars these days is trash.
I did say something where I walked out and I was like, oh snap.
Yeah.
Like Rodney and I were like, I just dissed Lil Pump.
Did you?
I dissed Lil Pump crazy.
You didn't like
and
that.
I was like, yo, Lil Pump's gonna come at my neck.
Yeah.
Like this
Taking shots at
soccer
Cubans.
player. And I'm like, then I'm
we taking
like,
shots at Cubans?
I'm like, yo, it's Lil Pump. Like,
I gotta now rep for Lil Pump.
Right.
Nah, but if Lil Pump is watching MLS, I'm like, yo, it's all good, man.
Right, word. If you want to come through to a game or something.
Yo, in fact, we're gonna beat him up as soon as the cameras are off. Lil Pump. You won't see any marks on him, but just believe that happened.
So let's talk about your time at NYCFC. We that's where we watched you a bunch. You did great there. What do you think of Vieira, especially now Vieira leaving, that whole situation? What was being under the tutelage of Patrick Vieira? What was that like for you?
For me, it was amazing. I'm an Arsenal fan. I grew up. He was one of my favorite players on the team. Like that was just crazy. I remember the first day I walked in, and he like introduced himself, and I was like, "Yo, this is Patrick Vieira."
It was like, "Yo, dog, I know you."
Like this dude is big as shit, yo.
When we met him at one of those, they used to do, what was it called, Soccer in the City or something like that, Boroughs.
The Boroughs,
yeah.
Soccer in the Boroughs.
It was
City in the Boroughs.
Yeah, City in the Boroughs.
Mm-hmm.
And was it Mark Fratto hit us up like, "Yo, you got to come through." Blah blah. We weren't gonna go, but we're like, "All right, we'll come through." And Patrick Vieira was there, and I was like, "Oh shit!" So he answered a couple questions. I asked a couple questions, and then at the end, he stands up. We're like, "Oh my god!" He just kept going. He just kept going. I'm like, "Well, how many knees does this guy have?"
Right, exactly.
You know, like 2 per leg. And then I walked up to him, and there's this thing where I'm like, "All right, I'm not gonna fanboy, all right, because I've now spoken, like kind of to him." So I just walked up to him. I go, "Arsene Wenger in or out?" And he goes, "But who do you replace him with?" I was like, "Ooh, he said out." I was like, "Ooh." But we were all just excited. We were like, he said out. Like, he's a legend.
Yeah, so, being coached by him, I know we could talk about Alexis meeting him.
Yeah, Ethan, thank you for coming to this interview with me.
Like, Jesus. It was exciting. Like, how?
Did you learn anything?
Yeah, because I've also,
yeah.
We've also heard he brought that European mentality of how soccer players should think of themselves as professionals.
Right.
And we do know he would suspend people for
like Mikey and Kyrie, just like
he made me miss a game too.
Okay.
I was supposed to play in a game, and
What?
I was
Really?
late.
What'd you do?
I was late.
Okay.
You were late.
Because I tried. It was a midweek game. I tried to be smart and take a cab early, but the traffic was terrible.
Oh man.
Then I tried to hop on the train, and the 4 or the 5 wasn't going past 125th.
Yeah.
So I was like, shit.
Yo, this is so crazy. This is like a real problem.
And
Yeah,
I was,
like,
but the thing is, I knew I was gonna be late while I was on the train, but I couldn't get off the train because it was just the tunnels were packed. So I was just stuck in between stops.
So you just know.
Looking at the clock. So as soon as I got off the train, I texted the team administrator and I was like, "Yo, tell Pat I'm running late." And this is like 20 minutes already. This is already like 20 minutes before I have to be there. But I know New York. I'm like, "Yo, I'm gonna be late." And there's no way I make it. Traffic's terrible. I got out of a cab to get on the train.
Unless the Uber helicopter shows up.
I don't got a budget for that.
Yeah.
So then I was like, "Yo, I might be late." So I ended up being like 5 minutes late, and he was like, "You're out."
This is for a game. This is a game.
This is a game.
This is
a game.
If a game
last
were
year,
If a game were to start at 1 p.m., what time do you have to be there?
we had to be there 90 minutes before the game.
Oof.
Okay.
No, 2 hours, and then we have a meeting.
Yeah.
And then we have to be there. So you have to make sure you make the meeting.
Damn. 5 minutes
And I walked
late.
in and they were already in the meeting.
Yeah.
Did everyone else like that?
So he was like up in the stands. I was like, I told him
You
the
didn't even
story.
get in the 18.
No.
Wow. Don't even dress.
It was me and another player.
You won't put him on blast, but
I'm not gonna do
But
that.
is that the person behind you? Are they like, yes, I get to play?
Nah, I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
I wasn't one of those guys. I knew like I'm part of a team.
Yeah.
If I'm like late, that's on me. And then I just got to deal with it, and hopefully my team can come through. That's the kind of guy I was. I feel like towards, and then my period.
Damn.
My stay there. I was like, I'm just gonna do this for the team.
All right.
That's pretty cool. All right. Well, look,
That's why I have no like hard.
That's why you walk away like cool.
I walk away
did what
like I did my thing. I played, and another thing was I made 100 games.
That's pretty dope.
I played 100 games in the league, and I was like, you know what, this is another
Yeah.
This I got what I want from it. I can walk away from a club that I still respect. I don't hate anybody. Still had offers on the table. I was in Norway like right before in May, getting contract offers, and I was on the team, and they were like, "Signed you this," and I was like, "Nah, I'm actually good. I'm gonna take these opportunities at home."
Well, that's the thing. What are these opportunities? Because you're doing so many different things. As a player, we want players to be a player, and then when they retire, we want them to do some media stuff, and that's it.
Right.
You have other aspirations. You're doing a travel show kind of a thing, right?
Yeah, I did. That was over now.
Yeah, that's over now. All right.
Yeah.
What was that? Because I don't know about it.
So
Like
I did
Jägermeister or something, right?
Jack Daniels.
Jack Daniels. I knew.
So I did this show with Jack Daniels where I traveled to like 6 different cities, and basically just talked to creatives like a chef, fashion designer in New York, this art collective in Detroit, gamer, and this what's the costume thing called?
Cosplay
Like
person in
Comic-Con?
Atlanta. Yeah.
Would you interview him? His mother's
Bro,
basement.
it's crazy. You got to see the episode.
Yeah.
That was cool. It was actually, I was like, yo, I got to respect for these people.
Yeah.
And then it was one more. What was it?
But
I went to the distillery in Tennessee. So I
is that
traveled to
part
6
of your
different
plan,
cities.
though? Is this what do you want to do? What is your goal now that you're not a player? How do you want people, instead of Ethan White, the retired soccer player, what do you want people to say? Ethan White, the...
I don't want to be put into anything, really.
Really?
Just Ethan
Nah.
White, the homie. All right.
That'd be cool. I mean, for real, like, I want to be able to just be myself. Like, if I like to do
But
photography.
what is yourself? What do you want to do? Like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And don't say, I don't know.
Nah, I just want to say, I want to just stay happy. I just want to enjoy and be successful, be able to do live a lifestyle that I'm happy living.
White's gonna be
I don't need to be, for me, I'm not the kind of person that needs to be rich. Obviously, I would like it, but I just want to enjoy it. I think life here is short, and I just want to enjoy it.
I think your girl's listening like, no, he want to be rich.
Oh, yeah, of course. Like if we have kids, I want to be able to provide for our kids. Like, I want to be able to do all that. But I don't need like a mansion in LA and all that. I just want to really just enjoy, look back and say I enjoyed my life.
All right. Ethan White's gonna be just a mogul.
Yo, you
So
should
like
be an inspirational
I don't
speaker.
want I don't want it to be like he's just a host or he's just a photographer, he's just a content consultant or he's an old athlete. Like, you know what I mean? I want to be able to just be my like what does Pharrell do?
Everything.
Just stay young forever. He's a vampire.
He's just
$15,000
like, Pharrell
sneakers. That's what he does.
Pharrell is just Pharrell. Like
Yeah.
he makes music,
Yeah.
designs clothes, like
This is a new era now where, like, you don't have to be the one thing, you know? Like, when I was a kid, if you were an actor and you tried to sing, you got shit on.
Right.
If you were a singer and you tried to act, you got shit on.
Right.
Right? But now, like, that's you could just do whatever it is you want.
So I'll ask this: like, now that you're going into these other endeavors, are you bringing soccer along with it? Are you trying to add like that a bit of a microscope to the American soccer player, or that's not really a priority?
yeah, well I mean American soccer player too, but just athletes in general.
Okay.
I feel like athletes are kind of put in a box where you're just an athlete. Like
And everyone thinks, this is going to sound disrespectful, but everyone assumes players are dumb.
I don't understand why.
They just assume, like, this is what you do, and you have no other skills besides this.
Like I'm sure a lot of people were friends with the cool athlete in high school.
Yeah.
Sure.
What all of a sudden when did he go dumb?
Yeah.
Well, that's
American football player, because they get hit in the head a lot.
Well, yeah, I mean,
But-
obviously there's special cases, but I'm sure there's also some football players that were on that team that were super smart, that went to like a good football school, that's just a good college as well.
Yeah. Look, in general, I think the reason we're asking these questions and in this sort of ways because a lot of people find it brave and also shocking that a young athlete in the middle of his career kind of just was like, I'm done with it. As opposed to, you know, we see this happen in the NFL a lot, right?
Right.
A lot of younger players are like, you know what, I'm not it's not worth risking my brain for this game and for this money. But soccer is it's just not a common thing you see in soccer, and you don't necessarily seem like a guy that's like, I'm frustrated with how terrible this game is. I think it's just like a conscious choice of like, you know, there's other things for me, and I don't want to miss out on them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So for me, it was just like, I'm in a good city. I'm enjoying myself. There's other opportunities and there's other things I like to do. I'm just gonna enjoy it while I'm young.
We got music coming out. We got bars.
We can do that. No,
Okay.
I'm playing. No way,
What?
no way. Definitely not ever gonna get in front of a microphone.
Look out,
in the
little pump,
interview.
battle rap.
No
That'll
way.
have a little pump.
Nah, that'll never happen.
Last thing, real quick, we were just in Richmond, Virginia, for a show that we did, and we hung out with the Richmond Kickers. You played for the Richmond Kickers. You were on loan there for a little bit.
Yeah.
What was that time like?
So that was 2000.
Wikipedia says
11?
2012.
2012.
Yeah.
So I got injured my end of my rookie year,
Oh no.
and it was my knee, and I was out for like 6-7 months.
Damn.
And I went down to Richmond to get games,
Okay.
and it was cool. I still have boys that play for that team, like from college.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
we did a show for like a lot of the Richmond Kickers supporters, and they were all
Word.
Yeah, that was
at the where were we at the Funny Bone?
At the Funny Bone in Richmond,
I
Virginia.
don't know where that is.
Yeah, you gotta come out to
Neither
a
do
show,
we.
Ethan. Now you're in New York. Come see a comedy
Come
show.
see a comedy show.
I will, yo. I want to come through. I feel
We
like
got
I'm
some
still
dope
funnier than you
stuff.
guys.
Okay, all right. Well, I think that's one of the things Ethan's gonna be doing. We're gonna be seeing him on stage,
Right, yeah, exactly.
doing jokes.
Exactly.
We'll put you up for 5.
Oh no.
Okay,
I
all
really
right.
couldn't do
We'd
that.
love to see that.
I watch. Oh my bad.
No,
I'm
go
trying to
for it.
end
Go for it.
I watch Coffee with Comedians. You watch that?
Oh,
With
God,
Jerry
comedians in
Seinfeld?
cars getting
yeah,
coffee? Yeah,
that's
yeah.
it.
That's an incredible
Sometimes
show.
I'm like, the comedians just aren't just funny sometimes.
You know what though? After you get paid, I mean, are you kicking the ball around? It's like a plumber's house has leaks. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
once you do it for a job, you kind of want to go home and not do it sometimes.
I don't know. I just feel like some of the guys were just. I don't know. I don't want to diss
You know
anybody.
what it is? There's a good.
Only a little pump. Yeah,
There's a
I
good
learned my lesson on that one.
Well, you can tell all the shit you want because we do it. There's a good core of comedians that write and repeat what they say, and that's funny. And when off stage, they're deadpan.
Right. Yeah.
So it's very hard. They're not like the A personality like you find with us. You know what I mean? Like when we're out, we're like, oh, we could be comedic in conversation. Some of them you're just like, you're sure you're a comic?
When you
Yeah,
say-
but my thing is like, how did you get into comedy then?
Somebody
Like, how did you know
know
you
what
were
it is?
funny? Be
They
like, yo,
never-
I'm gonna get on the stage.
They never got hit by their parent. Like there's some of those people who believe that they're good at everything they do. Those people are just so supported their whole lives.
That's like American.
The
Idol.
opposite
It's like
of me.
American Idol stuff.
It's the exact opposite. My mother been doing comedy for 10 years. My mother still never seen me perform.
Yeah,
She
Really?
She just-
refuses
she
to.
just puts
she
them
lives
down.
in Newark.
Do you talk
5
about your
minutes
mom?
away.
You talk about your mom?
Of course I do.
Oh, okay. I was
talk
gonna
more
say you
about
gotta
growing
talk
up.
about your mom, but she
Yeah.
doesn't come.
Of course not. She puts
I
herself in this.
love you, mom. No, I'm not talking about you.
I know he ain't talking to you, Daisy.
Ethan White, thank you so much for being on the show, man.
Where can people follow your career and everything you're doing?
What's next? So right now I'm working with Adidas and the league as well. That's why I was down in Atlanta. So just follow the Adidas NYC.
Was it on your
Page and-
Instagram, on your Twitter?
I don't post that much of my work on stuff on my
You
Instagram.
work
we
for
gotta-
other people, yeah.
Yeah, I want to start doing it. I
we
feel
gotta
like
work
there's like
on
a
that.
lot of stuff that I don't post. Like I am like actually enjoying this.
For a photographer, I feel like Instagram may be one of those things you might want to get into.
Yeah, but I feel like then there's you don't want to get like stuck in a little wave of things.
That's
I
true.
don't want to be like
Like just doing it for the social media aspect.
well, not just that. But I'm saying I don't want to be looked at as a person that only does one style of things.
Okay. Well, look, Ethan, all I'm saying is just more selfies of you.
Yeah.
That's just,
Nah, definitely I don't do selfies.
Yeah.
I don't think there's one selfie on my page.
Let's get Ethan a selfie stick.
I don't know. Whoa,
Change the game.
yo, it's funny. My
his wife is a photographer.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah,
there's an
he told me
opportunity
that.
to collab on something huge or something like that.
Okay.
That'd be
Link
cool.
up.
Yeah,
she's
maybe we
great.
should.
D
Link
shoots.
up.
D shoots. Check it out.
She's
Everybody
great.
check it out. She's amazing.
All right, Ethan. Thank you so much for being on the show, man. This is so.
Thanks, homies.
We're wrapping up the show. So you saw us do our intro. We kind of yell the Cooligans at the end. So we're gonna do that with you. Is that
Are
cool?
we doing it on account or are y'all just in sync?
You'll see.
no,
You'll
you'll
get.
see when-
It'll make total sense when
You'll be.
when
Trust
we do
me.
it.
You'll figure it
So
out.
this is thank you again for listening to the show, everybody. Make sure you like the podcast, subscribe, everything. It's on YouTube as well.
5 stars.
5 stars. Do it.
What's 5 stars?
on
iTunes.
iTunes.
Ooh,
Also, I'm a 5-star general.
baby. Y'all getting money.
So,
Y'all getting money.
for Ethan White, my name is Christian Polanco.
My name is Alexis Guerreros, and together, what are we?
The Cooligans!